Okay, this is going to be a real quick follow-up. YouTube doesn't let me go above about 10 minutes. So with that said, every time that you hit that share button, the like, share, and all that stuff that you can, smiley faces and all that, and the frown faces too, that is your First Amendment right. You will notice in the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment is first. The one right after that is the Second Amendment, right? We don't go to the Second Amendment first. We go to the First Amendment first. And our founding fathers knew that word of mouth, that freedom to speak the truth is what is necessary first, right? And usually that takes care of it. By me getting on YouTube and speaking my mind about what really happened with this situation, now I'm going to lead into why I don't think that certain people should be in office. That is my right as an American citizen. And you might be thinking, oh, gee, that's dangerous doing that with these guys. It isn't dangerous. It isn't at all. They can pull little strings like this, shut down my chicken processing, things like that. But that's it. And in the end, they usually fail. They usually fail on most of these things. Our First Amendment is very important, and every time you hit the share button, it's what we call in the military a force multiplier. It goes out to so many more people. And I go to the trouble of getting this guy's picture off Facebook where he posted it, and then I put his address where he lives and his phone number. And he's a public servant. He shouldn't really have a problem with that. And if he does, well, maybe he should call me and we can talk about that. And maybe I'll, if he's got some extenuating circumstances, maybe I'll block his face out when I talk about him. But accountability of our servants is very important. As I've said, if you have servants that work for you in your home, if you're a wealthy person, you have servants, their job is to get your shoes ready for you. Their job is to get your clothes ready for you, to cook for you, to clean up after you. They do not tell you what you're having for breakfast. They don't tell you what time it is to go to bed. They don't tell you you can't have another bowl of ice cream. But in this case, our public servant has said, we're going to withhold a license that you fulfilled your end of the responsibility, but we're going to hold that license because you didn't do something we wanted you to do. And I went through that a little bit in the previous video. They wanted to search my home all over a picture of a ham. And I did not, let me for the record say, I did not impede that. The way search warrants work, a legitimate search warrant that's signed by a judge, they usually bring policemen with them, right? And in this case they did. There was 3 stadies, 2 units, if you want to get an idea of the money that they spent to do this. And they had a legitimate warrant to search my property over this picture of the ham. I mean, I didn't think it was legitimate, but who knows, maybe they think I was trafficking cocaine in it or something like that. And that, it occurred to me that somebody had maybe made an allegation like that, and they thought maybe we were running a cocaine ring here or something like that. But that wasn't the case at all. Anyway, if you are served a search warrant and it's legit, and you say, no, I'm not letting you do it, they'll put the cuffs on you, and you'll be in the back of one of those cruisers, because it's a very serious thing to issue a search warrant. For those of you that don't know, it supersedes your Fourth Amendment rights. And your Fourth Amendment rights are very, very important. When you think about somebody going through all of your stuff, you just think about that. I mean, if your house has ever been broken into, it's done illegally. And in my opinion, a search warrant, it better be a really good reason where life and limb is on the line. But over a picture of a ham, that's completely wrong. For the record, my county sheriff was not on the scene, or any representation from my county sheriff's office, which was very poor. I mean, if one of your citizens is going to have their Fourth Amendment rights guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States, that's going to be revoked by a judge. If I were the sheriff in this county, I would want to be right there, because I would want to see exactly what's going on, because I would not hold with that at all, and there better be a damn good reason to pull that guy's rights away from him. If they can pull that right away, your Fourth Amendment, can they also take your Fifth Amendment? Can they also take your Second Amendment, your First Amendment, your right to free speech? That's what we're doing here right now. Free speech. I say what I want. I say what I feel. They may not like it, but in this country, you can do it. And I'm telling you something, people, do it, or you're going to lose the right to do it. I've traveled to many, many countries around the world, or across the world. And there are many countries where you cannot speak like this and put it out on the airwaves. Why? Because they will put you against the wall and shoot you. And there are people like food inspectors that have the authority to do it, but not in this country, because we are free people. But you will lose your freedoms if you don't stand up for them. And now is the time to stand up for those freedoms, right? If they can do this to me, chances are they're doing it to everybody, because, you know, I'm a harder target. And yet Junior here had the nuts to do this. I'm really surprised he had the nuts to do this. This is going to bring a lot of discredit down on his office. And also it's going to impede the election, because now people are going to be asking Bill Schuette, hey, what's the story with this Baker's Green Acres thing going on? See, and now Schuette's going to have to answer that. Schuette's going to have to give an account for what Weiner has done here. Right? You realize that? And Jim, I hope you realize what you've done. Some people thought that I was falling into a trap, but I'm not. This story's gone far and wide, and the Tea Party personnel, their ears are perked up at this, because they don't like Schuette anyway, a lot of them. And a lot of the hardcore Republican, they just vote Republican, are saying, we don't want a guy like this. But the thing's in motion, it's going to be very difficult. But still, Schuette has got a Democrat running against him. And, you know, I'm not a big believer in party politics. I don't know this woman that's running. But I can tell you what, Schuette's not getting my vote. There's no way I'd vote for that guy. It would be a vote against my family, you know, to vote for that guy, right? Because I know the stuff that he's done. All right, here's another note, and I got to get this out and end this video real quick. This incident with the search warrant took place December 2015. I was denied a license for this butcher shop this year in 17, just this last week, or just Monday. All right, so that means in 2016, they issued it. They didn't have a problem. So it makes us think that they are working an agenda, and there's a timeline here. And I am not sure, I don't think they're stupid people, but this seems awful fishy that they would wait a year and then withhold my license. Seems awful fishy. It almost seems counterproductive for them. Hey, I was going to stay out of this election. If you guys elect Schuette, have at it. You know, I was just going to stay out of it. But since old Jim here brought me into it, I will speak my mind. And I think at this point, some people want to hear what I have to say about it. What you have to remember is we are only as strong as citizenry as our weakest link. And if we elect people who say they're going to represent us, but then do not represent you, you've made a very bad choice. And I don't think you'll make that choice if you're well informed. And that's what this is about, is just informing people about who your choice is. Do I have a better guy in mind? I don't. I've looked at voting records, and I don't see anybody really that I think is going to survive the primaries to be the governor of the state. This lady that's running on the Democrat side, I'd have to look at it. You know, I've pretty much thrown my hands up. I have other things going on in my life, but I guess I'm involved now. Hey, it's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm, and please get involved. This is not a spectator sport. Not a spectator sport. Get involved. Thank you.